and we can go ahead and start the show. Welcome, 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 everybody. Okay, today we're going to cover a couple of things. There were three big games that were played this weekend. SUPERSPORT versus Pirates, SUNDOWNS versus Cape Town City, and then KAIZER Chiefs versus Richards Bay. That's what we're going to cover tonight. Welcome, everyone, to the Overthinking Football Show post-Christmas. My name is George Mukwe and I'm your host. This show airs every Monday to Thursday at 8 p.m. And then on Fridays, we do a 12:30 show. That is for my members, the guys who are contributing towards the show. Like I said, we're going to be covering three of the big matches. Obviously, the big three were all playing this weekend. It was SUPERSPORT, it was Pirates, it was Chiefs, it was Cape Town City. But what is very interesting is the SUPERSPORT Pirates were the top 2 versus 3-1, and then Cape Town City Sundowns was 1v4. So those were top of the table clashes. Of course, Richards Bay second last, and there was some news that came out yesterday. Can you imagine? On a Christmas day, things come out and coaches get ruined and fired and moved on. But we'll talk about all of that. I'm going to start us off with SUPERSPORT versus the Pirates. They played to a 3-1 win by SUPERSPORT. So let's hear from the two coaches as to what they thought of this game. I'm actually going to start off with Gavin Hunt, the winning coach, and then we'll hear what Jose had to say.
But the team, let's talk about the team, that's more important. I think two young centre-backs to play, people said I was crazy to put Bilal in, but he was magnificent, I thought. And I said we can only, if we lose with him playing the first game, then we can only win with young players. And these young players have been magnificent this week. As I said, we're given 11 debutants from the Diski team, 11 this season. I mean, it's crazy. And 6 new players, that's 17 new players. And we punching, and we can't win the league, but we punch. We just keep going and try and do the best we can and try and put a team out. We've lost all our centre backs, and these 2 kids tonight were magnificent at the back. And so may longer continue, and we just look forward. We're not going to lose in the CAF. We're only going to learn, and we'll get better by playing in CAF. We obviously want to try and get in their game, because in the next bunch we'll give them. I mean, I've always done that wherever I've been, and we might not do well in CAF, but we can't. With our squad play Wednesday and then play Pirates on Saturday with our squad, we can't. I mean, if we played my full team on Wednesday, we could never have played. Some of the guys who never lost. Sandra blew up. He played on 90 minutes on Wednesday, and he could last at 60, 70 tonight. He's a young kid, and I can't. I've got to be careful with him. That's why we need this break to come. But magnificent, the kids. And the senior players as well. We're missing big players, big players. Defensively, and these guys have stood up, and Lyle has come in at left back, and he's not a left back, so these type of things. We can only get better. We're going to lose games, but we can only get better. Coach, great attributes. He's got a goal in him.
Okay, so that was Coach Gavin just speaking about his team and some of the troubles that he's had this season. But what I like about him is that they keep pushing. Let's hear what Coach Jose had to say.
Yeah, probably the result is not telling the whole history about the game, the whole story. But in the end, it's 3-1. There's nothing for us here today. We start the game very well. We have the opportunity to finish the game in the first 30 minutes. But we didn't, and we got punished. And then in the second half, I think we were playing very well before conceding the second goal. Even with the 2-1 and the 3-1, I think we have chances to still trying to collect something here tonight. But football is, again, I repeat myself, but it's a scoring game. They score 3, we score 1. Whatever I say here now, it's going to sound
Okay, for sake of time, because we're covering 3 matches tonight, I'm gonna hold it there, and we're gonna talk a little bit about these games. So, look, on the Pirates side, Jose tried something new, a little bit something new there. He brought in Abo. He played Kim Viudi in a second striker type of position, which I think suited him very well. And he is correct in saying that the score doesn't tell you the full game. The score tells you that SuperSport maybe ran over Pirates, but it doesn't tell you that Pirates started very brightly on their end, and it seemed like they were destined to do something. It was a very open game. They went back and forth. It's the type of games that we had been asking for. That, guys, you will lose some games, you'll do whatever, but play, man. Play the game, go against each other, hit each other, you know, especially when you're looking at two teams who are number 2 and number 3 on the log, right? So obviously you're expecting number 2 and number 3 to have quite a fight. And that's what it turned out to be. If not for Ubutelezi making that mistake, maybe Pirates could have still been in that game, even though they still struggle with scoring. I don't know if Pirates understands yet or properly how to score, right? They seem to have lost that. But they played a very exciting game in an open game. On to SuperSport. I put out a short form video this afternoon detailing exactly how I feel about Gavin Hunt. Gavin Hunt is playing CAF football, is playing league football. They're almost playing Libona every 4 days as the SuperSport. He has been forced now, he's blooded in 11. So he's played 11 DDC players in this year, in this season. 11 DDC players have made their debuts for SuperSport, and then 6 new players, 17 new players that he's dealing with, and also dealing with the fact that these are kids. I gave Pirates props now in the beginning when I was just speaking now, but the truth of the matter is there was a teenager. There were 2 teenagers in the defense, center back, couldn't be breached. There was another teenager playing on the left wing who was giving Makaringe the business. So I think we underrate him so much for the job that he's doing. And I know he complains a lot. I know a lot of people get turned off by him complaining. But what I like about Kevin Hunt is that he complains while getting the results. So it's very good to see that. I still feel like I'd love to see him somewhere else, man. I'd love to see him in Africa somewhere. I'd love to see him taking on the bigger jobs. I'd love to see that from Gavin because he's too good of a coach to be stuck here. He's too good of a coach to be at a team that's going to sell every year, and every year he must complain. This year he was complaining about losing Masego. He lost Abo Mukwena. He lost Abo Ronan Williams. You know, he's been losing players, and very key players at that, every single year because that's the model that the team chooses. But I would love to see Gavin somewhere else because it's incredible to do what he's doing, right? Top 2, number 2, without having the type of facilities, monies, budgets, resources available to him is incredible. And we need to give him his flowers. We need to give him his flowers. His counterpart, Jose Rivero, guys, it's time, man. Is it not time that we ask a bit more from Jose? And I want to say, and I say this every time I speak about him, I'm not saying that he should get fired. I'm not saying that he's a bad coach, right? I'm not saying any of that stuff. What I'm saying is we need to show consistency now, Pirates. We need to come out there and actually go and challenge, because we can't be looking at a SuperSport that is understaffed and overplayed right now. And they're the team that is closest to SUNDOWNS. Not to say that they'll catch them, not to say that they're impressive or whatever, but they're number 2. With the resources, with the games. They played midweek, I believe it was. They played weekend. They played the previous weekend. So you're looking at them and they're the ones chasing SUNDOWNS when actually Pirates should be way closer to SUNDOWNS as it currently stands. With their resources, with the team, with the coach, with the trophies they've won, with everything, they should be closer. It even helps them more that they're rested. Anita Baidali, Yes, they're playing games back to back and stuff, but they don't play as many games as Abu Supersport are going to play. So what is the issue? Should we not then look at Jose and say, Jose, Begumnandi Sunama MTN8, Begumnandi Sunama Netbank. But we have to take the next step. And you can't sit every week and come out and complain. And I think the sad part about this match in particular is that you see the two sides. One coach that has a wealth of players, quality players. That Pirates bench is one that I think a lot of PSL teams would cry to have. Then you look on the other side, and you give DDC. About DDC players, they're the ones who are filling up that bench. So now you look at it and you go, Jose, it's time to catch up, man. It's time to coach. I remember I asked you guys this a couple of months ago. I asked you guys this a couple of months ago, where I was like, should we not question Jose in terms of moving forward and progressing past what he had done right now? Should we not? Should we not be saying, hey, Jose, it's great what you did? And people said, I'm going too far. People said, I'm going too far. But let's see. They're not going to have the hang up of CAF. But I do feel like what Pirates is struggling with, in my eyes, is that they have two teams. There's a team of younger players. And that team of younger players is the team that started the season. Ondonjo, Abo Tito, Abo Mfukeng, Abo Lepasa. They're fairly young. And they have a core that did well. Then you have the returning players. And when the returning players step in, Abo Nja, Abo Team, Abo Lodge, not to say they're bad players, but it seems as though they can't mix. They're not getting that mixture right. Jose. And while he's trying to figure that out, there's also a injury because Pirates went and loaded up number 10. Call number 10, Lape Pirates. But then when you look at the actual defense, now you have to play Hoto left back, you have to play Makaring right back, right? I think there's a bit of that's happening. If you watch what happened when Lodge came back into the team, Ukimviuri didn't know where to go or where to play. Abotito didn't know where to go or where to play. And I feel it's because of the size, the gravitas, man, Yabo Lodge when they come in. And I want to again preface this by saying that I'm not saying that Abo Lodge are bad. I'm saying that there was a chemistry at Pirates at the beginning of the season. There was a chemistry. And I know there were some injuries and things like that happened at that time, right? But now, crunch time, guys, crunch time. UI SuperSport. Let me read some of the comments before I open it up. Let's see. SuperSport lost those players. He only lost Masego. Temikosi, welcome. Chile says SSU has all the resources. Stop lying. They're not going anywhere. They'll end up fourth on the league. There we go. 34,000. Thank you, guys. 34,900. Let's get to 35. Please tap the screen. Tap the screen as much as you can. Chile's, I've made the argument here before that there are teams in the PSL that could spend money, but they don't spend money. SuperSport is one of those. And it just so happens that the model they've chosen for a SuperSport means that you have to ship them out. And when I say resources, I say, look at his squad right now. Look at the squad right now. The fact that it was a teenage center-back pairing that was playing versus Orlando Pirates, that tells you a lot. Who won man of the match? Chandre. How old is he? Was he playing last year? Last year, I believe he was the top goal scorer in TDC. So then you sit back and you go, this is what he's working with. This is now what he's working with. Now, we can argue again about whether these teams want to spend or do whatever, but that's where the problem lies. Let's look at this team now, the actual game. I think Gavin Hunt was very smart in doing one thing. We've been crying for weeks and weeks and weeks and saying, will somebody be able to take advantage of the fact that Hoto is not a left back, even though he's gotten better playing in that position? Or is somebody going to take advantage of Umakaringe on the other side, who is definitely not a right back and he's a winger who's been put to the back. So at some points, he'll have winger tendencies. You see them try push forward a lot. You see them leave their posts a lot. And what Kevin Hunt did very well was an aggressive press. But also, he had Chandre go directly at Makaringe. Directly. And Makaringe has not been the shakiest person, guys. He's not been the shakiest person. I don't want to lie. Right? But it looked great. It looked great up until you carry on going and you carry on going and you carry on going. And maybe you lose out because at one moment or two moments you're out of position, or you're thinking like a left wing, a right wing instead of a right back. And look, they profited from it. So let's see how they're going to go from there. But I will say, Pirates played the best football I've seen from Pirates in that first half. Best football. And if not for Buthelezi making that mistake, who knows where it goes. I'm going to open up the lines, guys. Please remember that you have to be following me on TikTok in order to join. And yeah, a button at the bottom of the screen will appear that says multi-guest. Click on the button request and you'll be able to jump in and we can further speak about this while I read some of these comments. Let's see. Yes, and camaraderie. There was a camaraderie there. Okay, I'm still waiting for a starting lineup. Post it. Slandu Campbell, see Sundowns. Timbinkos. Ukembele. Hey, I want him to go Pirates, but it doesn't work out like that. Resources, you mean age. Age doesn't play football. Who is not good enough to play in the PSL at SSU? It's not that, Chili's. My argument is that these are youngsters who have never played PSL. So if you had a team of people that have never played in the PSL versus guys that are 4, 5, 6 years deep into the PSL, who would you give your money to? Would you give your money to Lodge, or would you put your money on Lodge, or would you put your money on Chandre Campbell? If I just put them on paper and I said, here you go, who would you put your money on? That's what I'm saying. And also, they have to acclimatize. And also, Chandre played 90 minutes full 90 minutes in CAF. Flew over. 2 days later, they have to get on that bus and drive to Polokwane and go play Pirates. That's what I'm saying. Not only is it youth, now it's also the fact that they've got so many games. You know? Let me let in Agent. Agent, how are you, my brother?
I'm good, man. I hope you're boxing some gifts there, eh?
We boxed yesterday, Chief.
You couldn't wait.
Someone couldn't wait. There was someone who couldn't wait.
I know those ones. I know those ones.
Tell me, Agent, what do you see from this game, man? 3-1 Pirates.
But before I go to the game, I want you to do, because my Google is doing something funny. Can you give me the lineup of Amazulu and Text Galaxy last game quickly?
Ow.
Quickly. Yes. Live on TV.
Kumo,
how are you, my brother? How are you, my
Kumo,
brother?
welcome. Kiyomo is giving me homework, Kumo. It is Sundowns.
How's it?
Just because
How's
Coach
everyone?
Alona left the homework, now le batla go fa le rona di homework.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Amazulu's lineup was Motwa in goal, Kumete Mpahlele Mubara. In the midfield was Yusta, Brooks Mambajwa, and Hanamob. Then we had Junior, Dion up front, and then Extian. Chess Galaxy had Ntwari, Sanuka Mahlangu, Munyai, Litsuenyo, Velasi Kiba, Mahlangu, Vidal, Bilibili, Lemojela.
Yeah. And then before you go to the test one, let's compare SuperSport PSL experience wise to that lineup.
Yeah.
Which team has the most PSL experience?
Amazon.
You know, go to TS Galaxy, because sometimes you say these things. That's why sometimes I like saying things with facts. You know, we must learn to give other people kudos when they deserve it. You know, the SuperSport coach is doing well with the bare minimum. You know, And maybe yes, he deserves to coach a big team, and maybe not, because maybe he is the kind of coach who does well with this kind. He's the one who does well maybe with rejected players, young stars. Because he is a coach who wants to be listened to and wants to coach. Because if you look at, and I think I was hearing an interview by your coach where he said, sometimes you do things in training and on the field, they don't execute it. And Hunt looks like the kind of person who does a pen and wants it to be followed to the T, because the way they targeted the fullbacks, you could see that this thing was done over and over and over again, and the boys stuck to the plan, So sometimes you have to give kudos to the coach and say, Coach, you're doing well, and considering that they started 2 young center backs there and they didn't concede, that was marvelous to watch, even though they started shaky, and if I recall well, I think they got from behind it, or they got from behind, right?
Yeah, it was from behind.
Yeah, so they started the match shaky and they built up, and talk about exploiting your opponent's weaknesses. And again, going to Pirates, like we always say, they're a team which plays with moments, go hard and hard and hard and hard, So maybe the coach should just tell them that once you get 1, get 2, get 3, instead of scoring 1, trying to relax and trying to build up slowly, because it clearly doesn't work for you and it's clearly not for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think once they took the foot off the pedal, they wanted to relax and saying, SuperSport, come to us now, and you're gonna knock the ball and concede and score you guys through, passes. They couldn't get off that first gear anymore, and SuperSport go to a second and third gear and they scored, And again, we talk of the fascination with ball playing keepers. It is nice when it comes off, Sometimes with the Williams, you're like, yo, man, what are you doing? And when it comes off, it's beautiful. But if it doesn't, it's a problem, So my problems with this so-called modern keepers, especially if you're not as good on the ball and as switched on as Williams tends to be, you are bound to make mistakes like this, And I saw a fan was yelling at that guy, was yelling because it's not the first time he does this. Just that this time he got punished, And maybe I'm old-fashioned, but somehow I still prefer an Ofori ahead of Ubuthelezi, someone who I know will give me safe hands, But otherwise, it was a good game, good advertisement of the game, and I'm happy.
Kumo, how did you see this game?
I know Gavoni gave me. If you are being honest, like Sundowns, my team.
That's the next topic, man. It's the next one, not now.
No, it's a mistake, I'm happy for SuperSport to representing Pretoria very well. I'm happy the other team from Soweto lost. But anyway, the game in itself, as I was about to say, if you're being honest, Pirates had like they were dominant in terms of like possession, passing, ball retention, because of SuperSport had the lesser possession, but they had more big chances and they were more clinical. So I don't know what to say. Maybe for Pirates, though, it was a day of bad luck, I guess. But that shouldn't have been a loss for Pirates. It should have been at least a draw. But it is a case of the score doesn't reflect the game.
Yeah. Okay. Agent, I want to come back to you. We speak a lot about this Pirates team, and it doesn't seem like they know how to score goals. They don't know where to find them. They have very, I call them pretty players. They have very pretty players. When they get into the final third, it feels as though they almost want to pass it into the net. They do too many passes. No one wants to take responsibility of a shot or things like that. How does Jose fix this problem?
I think they have to go to the market. I think this is one problem can be solved via training, because just by last game, excuse me, last game on the bench, he preferred to have Ole Pass on the bench and strike with Umakhopa, and Umakhopa was not that effective. And at some point, Kimvuidi was up top there, so they basically strike with Kimvuidi. So you look at the two strikers that they have, Umakhopa, he scores once in a blue moon, and then you have Ole Pasa, who, like you always say, is a 1 in 3, 1 in 4, 4 chances, he misses 3, he scores the 4th one. So you cannot afford that, So I think they need to go to the market and get a player who's going to suit their style. And I think that's the problem that they're going to face. Which kind of striker are you getting? Because I think that's the problem. Because,
but what is their style? What is their style?
I was going to that. That the problem is how do you choose a striker? Because at this point in time, you have two conflicting systems. One, are you gonna need a player who can run, because usually they're running team with Abol Lodge, what is that guy, the former player of the season, I went to Paris fans.
Oh, Saleh.
Saleh, bombing forward. So you need to keep up with those, Or you're going to need someone, because they're trying to build from the back, someone who can hold up the ball and lay it off, and typical those kind of strikers are not as quick, So I think firstly they need to identify how they want to play and then get a striker.
Mara, they were scoring in the beginning of the season. Boba 4, Boba 5. What broke down there?
And it goes back to I think I don't know if it was Kumo who said form is temporary, I don't think none of us believed, okay, maybe I was optimistic about Ole Pasa that he can continue the goal scoring and be likened to maybe Oshalulile, but he proved me that he's not that kind of player, he's not. So I think you need someone who's going to give you at least 15 goals across the season. And I don't think Makhopa can give you that, and I don't think Lepasa can give you that. So that's a problem.
You know who would have been fire at Pirates? Chivaviro had signed for Pirates.
Yeah, and I think he has the stamina and the build up, and but he went to the wrong sort of team. That's fine.
Okay. Let me go to Kumo. What's going on with Pirates?
Do you know, I think Pirates has a personnel, like in terms of forwards. Like we're excited, Kamufuki, the head boy Evan Ga, even Evidence Mokopa and Lepasa are not bad. As much as I also despise Erasmus, he's a great forward. I don't think Kore, for now, like the one like take care of the disease and not the symptoms. I think they should do what Manchester United did. Remember when Benny McCarthy came, how on form Rashford became. I think maybe they should also invest in a proper striking coach. I don't know who they can go for. Maybe they can look into Sean Bartlett, instead of like like a head coach, in a striker coach. I don't know. So I think they can also like instill confidence in the young Mufugeng, especially happily give Mokopa. Oh, that guy, he needs evidence for Mokopa. Give Mutupa. Hey, Sundowns, evidence for Mokopa. Yeah, it can also work. And also, man, I mean, like you've got great players. Like Loche, and even though he's not a striker, he definitely can play the role that is played by our captain in Tembazwadi. He's skillful, he can create chances for the strikers. This Pirates team has the personnel, man. Go to know Akizi, or maybe they should go for counseling. I don't know, man. Something has to be done.
What the psychologist? Man, it seems like our psychologist is working. Let me read some of these comments here. Kay says it played 3-5-2. Fatsanani says, as a Chiefs fan, I feel bad for Buthelezi. I like him and I don't see him going to AFCON. Kay says, Oforis Bisinda, Oki, Hoto Mnare, Tim Lodge, Saleng, Erasmus, and Lepasa would be his starting lineup. Ubobo says Buthelezi is good for a smaller team. At Pirates, he will be like Mponchane. Fatsanani says Buthelezi Marco is fan. Buthelezi Makwe Fit, Shandunda, Sbisi, Tim Dondro Lodge, Mpukeng, Maswanganyi, Erasmus. Vovo says the pressure after all those mistakes will be too much for him. Tau also asks, what about Erasmus? Lepasa and Erasmus have the capability to score, but yet we need a box striker. Hey, Tolani, welcome to the show. Kay also says we also have we lack a supplier, and Kapinga can play that role. Tau comes back and says the team is not scoring. Look, I look at it like this. I think Pirates, now, I'm going to draw from another team that I watch a lot. That's my team, Arsenal. Arsenal in previous years, what we used to do was they would play this passing ball all the way, but there's no one who wants to pull the trigger. And I feel like the way that Coach Wabo wants to play, Jose wants to play, it feels as though somebody at the end needs to take responsibility. So Makgopa needs to tell the guys, good guys, mina ngifuna ukora. Ngiyanibona niyadlala, you're doing all these nice things, but somebody needs to finish this thing off. And I need to take responsibility. That's where a striker with that type of attitude, a striker with that type of ego needs to be brought into Pirates. Because I think the problem with Makgopa is that he's quiet. And he doesn't do, he disappears in the game up until that little chance comes and he takes it, but he disappears for most of the game. You don't know where he is. He'll start running to the wings and doing all that stuff. Problem with Erasmus is that Erasmus becomes a number 10. Erasmus becomes exactly like the other guys, and all of them want to play tiki-taka. All of them, they want to touch the ball while the defense is coming back and getting ready for you guys, right? Ulipasa works. But I think Ulipasa, the problem with him is that he needs 4 chances to score 1 goal. And if the chances don't come, he disappears. I think when Pirates was playing very well, they had a balance. So Saleng was a threat running in behind. So the defense would have to go to him. Then once Saleng is closed down, then opens the chances for Ulipasa. But for some reason, Mbonuloch is now at 10. He is moving Tito out of position. This one is now playing. Kiviudi is playing as a second striker, even though I think that looked very good. But I think that's where Pirates is losing it. Agent, very quickly, on SuperSport side. Campbell, the plan. It seemed to have worked to perfection, and there they are, sitting number 2.
Oh, yeah, and the last thing that I wanted to mention on Pirates was the problem is they don't have wingers, except the fullbacks who natural instinct is to cross, they want to cut back in, and sometimes when you are a striker who's not gifted like Umakopo on the feet, I feel like if they could cross more, maybe I think he would get to the headers more and can score a couple of goals there, because I don't think, as much as we say it, I don't think Bruce and Jose can pick him up if he's such a bad striker that we claim he is, So maybe they could do that. But on Campbell, man, Uto said, Chiefs, you guys are not signing him. Sign him, man.
We're gonna waste him.
Because if he matures, he goes to the first team. Take him now while I'm still busy with Africa and stuff like that. Make sure. Because otherwise, but good player.
He's going to join a list of young players, man. He's just going to get in line in the queue and stand behind Shabalala, basically, on the queue on the bench.
Yeah. To be honest with you, if I was in his camp, I was going to stay the full season, maybe 2 seasons, and go to the academy. hopefully Yogolan will still be there because it looks like he likes these youngsters and he's going to give you a chance. So, give yourself 2 years and develop under the tutelage of Wahand. He's going to teach you everything, discipline, tactical discipline, stuff like that. So I would say he'll stay there. But I think good player, obviously needs to work maybe on stamina a bit because I think he was dipping in and out. And sometimes decision making wasn't that crisp, but it shows maturity. I think he will mature something that
He
can be
played
figured out.
Africa 3 days earlier, 4 days earlier?
Yeah, you can say
90 minutes.
maybe you can blame fatigue and traveling and leggy legs, but I'm just analyzing him on the game that so
I
like
get
I said, but it's the little things which I feel like he just needs to get rid of, and the more he matures, the more I think he'll get rid of, and maybe for the style of play that he plays, because I think for me, and sometimes fans may maybe disagree, but I think he's a better fit for us than Omaseko, in terms of the way he plays and his intelligence. He's not just a road runner, but yeah, good player, man.
You're never getting that card back. You're never getting that membership card back. Let me go to Kumo. Campbell, kare wa mo jump apartment wa hao, man.
Jumper guy, because he had 2 games in another night. Oh,
The man of the match is ngata.
Bona agent. Sorry, on behalf of Maseko, sorry. I go to relay you okolota bokai, mara sorry. Sorry, ne. I'm Fuluhena, Maseko.
Tell him to stop running like a headless chicken, man.
It's okay, nothing. We're going to you guys next, man. Campbell and SuperSport, but now.
True, I can see my future is bright to Sundowns. So, Retoro Bartman, Mabena, Campbell. Now we've got a nice one. Now we've got a nice squad, man. No, my me. Okay, sharp. Ga right now, ga form, ne. Campbell is ahead of Bartman, but my heart always goes to that boy Bartman. So, as much as we like to joke, or is gonna come to Sundowns, but if it's possible, actually the correct manager or an agent, I think this boy should just go overseas. I don't care if you guys are gonna say he needs one more year to mature or whatever and blah blah blah. But that 1 more year might actually disadvantage him in terms of like he might learn our styles PSL, which we don't want. Yeah, I want. So if he goes there overseas and just be thrown in the deep end, maybe he might improve. I mean, like he's young enough, he's gonna absorb. Maybe a Granyana, Ayako, a Chelsea league, a Pringis, one of the American academy, is one of the best, or even a Madrid, hopefully a Liverpool. Then he can properly mature. I got experience have on experience in PSL. So already going to academy or under 23 of any top European team, he's got that experience. He's gonna have an advantage. Or okay, I'm not scared. This is my raw talent. This is my experience. So it's the onus is up to you guys to actually elevate my style. He can be a top player. He really can.
Okay. Let me read the rest of the comment.
Can I ask Kumo something? Speaking about overseas players, what happened to the other one who went overseas for trials? Because we had the it was one of those. The interview went well. Don't call us, we'll call you.
Maybe not so much. I know but let me look at these comments quickly. Also, like Jose is halting Bucks, says Sabelo. I see you in the line, Sabelo, but for time's sake, I need to move on to the next one. Bobo says, honestly, the Paris coach is also confused. The player can have a good game today. Next match, bench. Then the others enter as a sub. That's also true. Torani says they must act fast, otherwise it's going straight to the first team. When they say first team, but it's Sundowns, guys. Let's come, Makala. These are Sundowns fans here. Let me see on YouTube. Cornelia says, Ronald Williams, Mukwena and Bule was signed when Gavin Hunt was not the coach of SuperSport. Sundowns only bought Masego while Gavin was at SuperSport recently. I agree SuperSport has done well with DDC players and Gavin should be applauded for that. Look, guys, it's a tale of two different coaches. And I think Jose, as we're saying, Jose is also struggling with this big team stuff. Having such a big squad is killing him because I feel like he had a combination, but I want that demand to be played type of thing. And I'm not going to go into conspiracy theories about who demands Mara. A demand to be played. Okay, guys, let's move on to the next topic. The next topic, of course, is the game that Sundowns played versus Cape Town City. Where Sundowns lost points for the first time this season. They dropped points, but still remain unbeaten. Very important distinction to make there. So let's hear what Coach Rulani has to say. Apologies for this one not having video. It seems that they didn't really cover this one like that. But we do have audio of the two coaches. We'll just play a little bit of the press conferences. If you want to watch any of the press conferences, they are available in full. Lim Sports Zone was where we got that Gavin Hunt and Jose clip from. And then Diski Fans on YouTube. Both of them on YouTube. You can watch it there. So let's hear what Coach Mlungisi had to say about the draw.
Good afternoon to everybody. I thought it was a good game of football. I think two very good sides. You can see why Cape Town City have won 6 games in a row just before the Stellies blip, you know. But good team with a good coach and with some good players, and it was a very competitive game. Made even more competitive by the fact that they had quite a few advantages. Their last game being the 8th of December, and we just came back from Egypt a few days ago. So yeah, it is what it is. It's the schedule that we have to face, and I'm very proud of this group of players because we made a game of it. I always say to them that the result in football can belong to anybody. What we have to take ownership of is the process, and the process of trying to win every single match. And then there's certain indicators that you have to look at in terms of the process. And those indicators for me are, I think, when you look, I say how many real clear-cut chances for City, I don't remember. And then the other indicator is, did we have some chances? I think so. That Lucas situation, I think in the first half should be a goal. And he's a little bit unlucky with that chance. Good pressure and good pressing trap. In the second half, I think Modiba can pass to Maseko and he decides to take a shot, and if Modiba makes a better decision. And so when I look at the chances for the opposition and I look at our chances, I say, okay, I'm happy with the indicators. And even though maybe we made a couple of mistakes today, which is a little bit unlike us, but for sure, you know, when you play so many games and fatigue starts to take its toll, you're going to have those type of situations. But happy with the commitment, happy with the intensity, happy with the respect that this incredible group of players keeps showing for the badge and for the club, and we take a point. You can't win them all, and sometimes, you know, when you win 11 in a row, everyone thinks you're entitled to win every single game, but in football you can't win them all, and so we take the point away from home and we move on.
Okay, let's hear from Coach Tinkler as to how he saw this game.
Coach, you've got to be happy with the overall performance, even if a goal didn't come, and especially, I mean, the pressing and efforts from the guys in the first half.
Yeah, no, obviously I'm extremely proud of the boys. You know, I asked a lot from them. You know, they needed to play with a lot of energy and intensity. And that's not easy against a quality team like Mamelodi Sundowns, you know. They're a team that is extremely comfortable on the ball with a lot of ability and a lot of confidence. So we needed to be extremely brave in terms of our pressing strategy, but I thought players applied it exceptionally well. Just the final product was lacking.
Okay. Lily?
Coach.
Sorry, maybe you go. Lily.
Yeah. How do you feel now that one was saying in the comments that you stopped Sundowns from winning? How do you see this win? I mean, with the way that you are playing.
No, like I said, you know, I'm proud of the boys. It's not easy against Sundowns. The quality that they have, they made, what was it, 5 changes to their starting lineup. It didn't change the team. Didn't make it any weaker, you know. And then the quality that they're bringing on, you know. So I'm extremely proud of the boys, you know, the fact that we managed to get a draw here, 0-0. The importance for me was saying to the players, you know, keeping the clean sheet today was extremely important, but we needed to be brave enough to go out there to look to get the win. So the mentality was, right at the beginning of the game, we're going into this game 1-0 down. So we're 1-0 down, we need to go get the equalizer. That's got to be the focus. So, and the players applied it almost to perfection, because we didn't get the final product from it.
Mark? Can I ask you your...
Okay, I'm gonna jump in there, guys. The full press conferences are available on Disky Fans YouTube channel. For the sake of time, I'm just gonna jump in here and give my thoughts and bring in the panel. I'm gonna say it one more time. This idea that sitting back is the best way to play versus Sundowns is a myth, guys. It's a myth. You don't need to go pound for pound. You don't need to be pound for pound. But you can be brave. I like the word that you use, brave. You can be positive. You can plan. A lot of these teams that are going to play Sundowns are going to have weeks off. Weeks off. 2-3 weeks before they play. Rulani said it. The last time Cape Town City played was on the 8th of December. That was 15 days before this match. So you've got enough time to plan, to get something, to do something, especially against a Sundowns that is playing so many games back to back. At one point, fatigue is going to catch up. So what did Cape Town City do? They came on, they pressed in the right moments, they played positive in the right moments, and if Rulani is going to count Umudiba not making a pass to Masego in the box as a chance, then I would say that on the other end of the pitch, if not for Cape Town City not making the right decisions in the final third, not having the right weighted passes and things like that, maybe they could have gotten something from this game. And now, one more time, we've watched another team come out and be positive. Né? And actually get something. We saw Pyramids do it in Pretoria when they came here. We've seen TP Mazembe do it and get their win. We've seen TS Galaxy do it, almost lose it, but start off positive. We've seen Amazulu in the second half where they got a goal, it was offside, but the argument is that it would have been 1-1. I'm not even saying they would have finished 1-1, but they would have gotten a goal at least, right? So positive doesn't mean stupid or dumb. But this idea that sitting back is going to be the best way. We've watched 11 teams sit back. We watched 11 teams pretty much sit back and not do much. And there were 11 0-0. 11 wins. Right? In terms of the game, kudos, man, to both teams. Like we say, Sundowns plays almost every 3 days. They're playing tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Right? So kudos to them for being able to keep this going, because we may look at Sundowns and think that it's a luxury. Oh, they've got so many players. Oh, yeah, what. But it's still pressure. Rulani knows that if he loses a couple of games, 4 or 5 games, look at Bangoba, he's sitting right there on the bench. Who knows what might happen? He also knows that the amount of pressure he has to try catch those high things that Sundowns has done. Right? and surpass them, to stake his own claim at Sundowns history. That's also pressure. So we mustn't just sneeze at this thing and say, you've got the best team, therefore you're going to win. It's not like that. He's under pressure now. So kudos to Sundowns for being able to go this long. And might I remind you, while we may be celebrating this thing like it's a loss, they're still unbeaten. There's still a 0 in the loss column. So nobody's beaten them. Cape Town City, credit to them. They came out with a plan. I think legs killed them towards the end. I think not having adequate replacements killed them. The moment not that they had to come off because he had gotten a yellow card earlier, I think everything fell apart a little bit for them. So they couldn't sustain it throughout the full match because also they don't play at this level all the time. That's the other challenge that I have for our Cape Town City, where you have to look at them and say, guys, when you're playing Sundowns, you guys come out with all the tactics, all the plans, your coach is speaking about Brave and all that. Go do it versus Royal AM. Then go do it versus Amazul. Then go do it versus SUPERSPORT. And be consistent. Sundowns is 2 games. 2 games that you play Sundowns in a league season. What about the other 28 games? What are you doing there? And is it helping you get closer? Sundowns is doing their job. They win their games. But now we need people to be consistent, guys. But anyway, let me let in the panel again. I see people haven't requested, so I'm going to carry on with the panel and bring in Usabelo. Hopefully Usabelo is also with me. Agent, I'm going to start with you. Tell me, what did you think of this game? 0-0. Cape Town City.
Before I go to the game, maybe I should engage you a bit, you know?
Yes.
Because maybe my memory is foggy of the games that you're mentioning. Because for me, TP Mazembe sat back. They didn't attack us. We didn't utilize like chances. They got one chance. They scored. But they were sitting back.
There was a time you guys were going back and forth. There was a good 20 minutes where it was just tum.
You see, 20 minutes, you know, and I can say the same for what? Excuse me. And what do you call it? The Pyramids game. They came here to defend, you know. So maybe
Lekay was hitting you. It wasn't a low block, that one.
That was a low block.
Pyramids. Pyramids, yeah. Pretoria. When Lekay got all those chances and he missed them. When he was putting you under pressure. Not Fiston Mayele game. Not Fiston Mayele game.
They played a transition game, but they were sitting back.
But that's my point is...
It was a good one.
They were sitting back, but they had a point to their attack. You get what I mean?
True.
So what most teams do versus Sundowns, and I know because my team did it, is 11 men behind the ball, tibang for 90 minutes. You get what I mean?
Yes, but I think not the fact that we're mentioning Chiefs, I think Chiefs play the same game as Pyramids, you know, and if anything, Chiefs
we didn't have
the same game
chances.
better.
We didn't have chances.
But you guys had moments. I think we were lucky to beat Chiefs on both occasions. We were lucky.
I was watching your keeper like this, Agent. Your keeper, I was looking at him like this 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. And he messed up on 3 times, one-on-one. We did not have one-on-ones. We did not have one-on-ones.
Those moments was when what happened was that a case of a breakthrough, or Williams decided to make a pass and it was a pass to them.
But he caught your defense napping.
No.
Your defense was chasing him.
No. But maybe Kumo would help us because my memory is foggy. But
let's go to the game.
My point to the game was Cape Town City is the first game that I saw came here and they played against us. You know? So it's one team that I would like to have the honor that they broke our record, you know? And like I said, outside football, maybe it was a good draw, you know, because I think it was the winning thing was getting on us now, you know, it was something, it wasn't a healthy thing, you know, because when you go to the game, yes, I don't expect Sundowns to lose, but a draw and a win is fine, you know, but when you go to a game expecting nothing else but a win, it gets a toll on you, you know, so, and I think you got a bit entitled to wins that you're not supposed to, you know, but also again, And I think this is where I get called a double agent, is when I say, but I look at the coach and say, but coach, you always quote Jose Mourinho, and I'm sure he taught you what you call football heritage. Football heritage says last 5 games, Sundowns won against Cape Town Spurs once and won 2-0.
Yeah.
And the other 4 games, they ended in a 0-0 draw. Cape Town City is the only team that Omokwena hasn't beaten yet.
Yeah.
So, and I think this is the point that I always try and make, that football is not just only played on the pitch; it's a historical thing. Is something which comes out of outside football. So this was not the game for you to do such kind of rotation or bringing in 4 or 5 new players. This wasn't the game. Maybe the next game against Swallows, who historically we beat them, it's a game where you can change, and that Steve is gonna try to find his stars
from the back.
So that is the game you can afford to do that. But against a team who's gonna make you pound for pound, you don't do such kind of rotations. And before the game, I zeroed on the rotations, and I think the one that I got wrong, that I was worried about, was Omashego. And sometimes after the game, I thought about it, that naturally when you play against your former team, you play well. So I looked at it as like, you know what? Okay, good. It was a good game for him. One of the best games that I've seen from him. But the Zungu Mbule Mkulisi is a very slow midfield. Against an equally good midfield, not quality-wise, but I can say in terms of
attributes
as a unit, yes, and attributes, yes, that's the word I was looking for. They're gonna make you guys, So when you bring in such kind of players who are, except Umkulis, maybe Uzungu and Mbule are luxury players in the sense that they have that death touch, but otherwise they're slow, So when you are playing against such kind of team, you don't bring such kind of players in, especially 2 of them, And okay, fine, sharp, you got it wrong at the beginning, and you make your substitutions, The problem was the midfield and building from the back with Uzungu. Now, you bring in Ozwani, which was good, that was the natural thing, and then you bring in Omabuwe. Omabuwe cannot do the role that Uzungu can do, because now you're forced to drop Mkulisi to the hole and ask him to build, because Omabuwe is more of an attacking player.
And the natural thing was,
you get, you have to bring in Walende, and Alende has been rested a lot of lately, so I can't say he can complain much about being tired, So the natural thing was bring Alende and Ozwani first, and see how the team shapes up. You can leave Mkulisi there or Umbule, one of the two, still fine, so that you inject a bit of pace and quality into the midfield and you can play, But sharp, cool. One thing that I'm not going to criticize Ukulani for is taking out Ocosta and Oshalulile. Yes, the natural instinct is Shalulile is a goal happening to happen at any time,
And Ribeiro, to be fair.
And Ribeiro, to be fair also, But they've not been putting on that squaring boots of late, And you are saying to yourself, I've tried the slow build up, I've tried bringing a bit of creativity, this team is stubborn, let me inject a bit of pace, And the fact that Zwane is also fresh, it means next 15 minutes he can also try and match up with Abu Maseko and Uku, So that was, for me, it made sense. I have no queries about bringing in Omaseko in Unku at that particular time, because I think it was him throwing in the sink, which could have backfired. And I think this is the point that I made earlier, that we had the pressure of we have to win all games by all means necessary. Hence, he threw in the kitchen sink,
Okay.
And this it's a what do you call it? It's a league game. You don't have to throw in the kitchen sink. It could have backfired badly, But it was the pressure that we carried into this game, and I think since now is the monkey off the back, we'll play more legs and we'll win a bit more. So yeah.
Okay. Come on. Play like a game, man.
Okay, first of all, you are welcome. Christmas only comes once a year. That was our gift to you guys. I hope you guys are.
Was it really a gift?
You were celebrating like you won the lotto. Everyone was united.
They gave us a koloi Okay, ke batla koloi nka e driver un tickets Hot Wheels.
O nyaka Honda ema?
Ke batla yona whichever one. But un tickets koloi, but it's not the one I wanted.
Oh, okay. Nah. Okay. No, man, the game, I was much more disappointed in our strikers because I felt at times they were a bit nonchalant. Like, if they had tried to do something or they actually were much more venomous with their shots, we'll be saying a different story. And Agent Degamo Boring have criticized our midfield, which I think is world class, by the way. I mean, like Zungu, Mbule, Mukulise. Yes, they had their problems now and there, but maybe we can also say it's because of that the pressing a bit of problems. Ne? And happy guys, I dare you teams to do this thing in Cape Town City. Leading every day. Look at one of that 6 knot or 24 knot Sundowns come back to life. I dare you. So I dare you. You think? I mean, there's a reason why teams. There's a reason why great teams like Al Ahly, Pyramids, Pipi Mazembe, Bagadi low block, cause by easy, once Papa, Barataga Moko.
But then what happens at the end of the game, Kumo? What does the score say?
Score say, I get it. Low block sharp, fine. It's a different tactic. Mara, it's low block. You save from embarrassment. Yeah, but you like I do 1 not 2 1 or 2 not 2 Nahana 8 not okay like it.
Mara so you won 8 not Mara with those teams that have been trained.
I won can about take a last celebrate the Zumutful won about 5-5 she's some 5 car taking football. About half. So one number thing is like don't get carried away. Sharp, fine. Captain City played positively. Ne? They played like they had nothing to lose. They enjoyed their football they were playing. But also some of the chances that Cape Town City had, like nearly, like City forced into the first errors. It was us making mistakes by ourselves. So I want then one again sure over say I would if I over because of some of the passes, man, they were not sleek. I don't want to say it's fatigue because honestly we had a different Sundowns compared to the usual guys.
Yeah.
Or the starters maybe good defensive Williams, the strikers. But honestly, like so for this game we can say it's fatigue if we're being honest. We can say it's fatigue. Maybe got the 60th minute when we got our regulars into number. But yeah, over the game exciting compared to the snoof fest they won go so to the previous day. It was nice. It was nice.
Man. Hey Mara. Hey Kumo.
Why are you catching feelings? Go what beefy and get Christmas is ready take on a beef kajoko. So all I'm saying is sort of like it was nice, man, to see football. I wanna nearly pound for pound. I agree with nothing else to compare to. But yeah, it was nice to see the game. I'm disappointed we didn't get 3 points and extend our record. But other than that, I'm not worried, man. Get Sundowns to steal.
Okay. Let me welcome Samelo. Welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
Ngiyaphila kunjani bhuti?
Ngi-right Samelo, ngiyazi ukuthi bewungenele ebhakabhaka mara ngifaka ku-Sundowns.
Mina i-Sundowns ngiyayihlonipha bhuti wami ne.
Hlonipha. Ngitshela uyibone njani le game man? Njengoba uyihlonipha njani?
Ngiyavuma ukuthi iyadlala i-Sundowns but ngine-question eyi-one. Ngiyiphi team leyo mele i-Sundowns if makhochi angana starting 11? Chiefs ayina starting 11, Pirates ayina starting 11. Ngiyiphi team nje?
Angithi labo Al-Ali nabo baphaka amabhasi babadlala nabo.
Angithi babuka thina. Phela i-South Africa iphambili le-Africa man. net ukuthi asikhoni ukunika i-Sundowns leya power yokuthi siyi-support phela if i-Pirates ne-Chiefs idlala igame e-Africa singakhona kuphumelela but i-problem yethu asikhoni ukunceda i-Sundowns inamandla ekuphumelela ithathe i-Champions League kwesi-2 kwesi-3 but thina asikho asikho because imagine kune-development ku-Pirates kune-development ku-Chiefs but makungekho umdlalo othizeni kufakwa ama-midfielder ku-backline and which is not wrong but iyabheda
mara le game leyo uyibone njani le game nangi i-Cape Town City isukumile yathi 0-0
i-Cape Town City salute emile iyaba madoda kumele sifunze kuyo thina
yeah
ukuthi igame iyadlalwa ayimelwa igame iyadlalwa thina simele igame iyadlalwa kodwa
yeah
asilindi ukuthi umuntu asi-attack-e siyadlala sekuphelile kudlala la e-South Africa kulinde i-Sundowns soshaya sesiyazi okay esishayile sozama kwabanye idoti lesiyidlalako
okay no kuzobuya sabelethi
it's painful
yeah
it's painful
okay
imagine this mame ngiyavuma ne maybe Makar ngiyakhona kudlala i-right back noHot uyakhona kudlala i-left back but the question it's ayikho yini abafana labancane labangasoka development bayovala i-left back ne-right back na abekho na or kumele vele badlale laba eish
mara wabona ungifaka ukubhakabhaka sikhuluma nge-Sundowns mara ngizobuya
i-Sundowns vele icedile nge-South Africa man
ithi ngifake uXolani man ithi ngizobuya Xolani, welcome to the show my brother, how are you?
I'm alright, uthi njani mafethu?
Ngathi ukude man angazi Mike.
Okay, kunjani manje?
A little bit better.
Inkinga i-network.
Oh, network.
I think i-network inkinga mfethu.
Okay, no, it's fine. Let's carry on. Uyibone njani le game?
Yeah, bro. It was an exciting game, mfethu. Both teams were playing good football, and both teams were making mistakes to the final third. Yeah, so it was a bad decision. It was bad decisions towards the final third from both teams. So, but all in all, and it was tactically. Short nje lapho nje like final touches to last third kumele kube khona like I last touch yabo it tends to rush yabo so yeah ngibona kanjalo first and kudos to both coaches for coming up with ama tactics azokwenza ukuthi game ibe mnandi.
Okay, let me read some of these comments before we go back for round 2. Okay, let's see. What are we saying here? Zalamba's like, oh, Chiefs is like pyramids. Savelo asked about outside football. A chance is a chance. Okay. About like most teams are defeated by Sundowns even before the game starts. Says the agent. Let me see if anything is being said on the YouTube side. Let me just find there. Okay, we're still good. Look, I think for me, and again, I want to preface this by saying, I'm not saying pound for pound. I'm saying you have to have a plan. Every time I'm on live, I say the same exact example. Leicester City was quote unquote a low block defensive team. The difference is that they knew that once our defense does X, this is how we score. This is how we go and score. We're going to take the ball. I'm going to give it to Mahrez. He's going to give it to Vardy. Vardy's going to score. We're going to move in a specific way. We're going to have a point to our attack. My issue with teams sitting back is that when they sit back like that, they go, no, oh, Sundowns is the quality. They've got so many players. They do this, they do that. And then you sit back and you're like, but guys, it's your job to find an answer. So when I say they played, I'm not saying they went out gung-ho and they were running. No, they had a plan. Cape Town City was pressing with its front guys, front three. Those were the guys who were pressing. In fact, they were pressing up there, then pressing the midfield, right, in order to keep these guys safe. That's a plan. That's something different. When we spoke about the KAIZER Chiefs playing in Sundowns, we played a defensive thing, but we didn't have a way to go out. That's what I mean. When AmaZulu played the Sundowns, Ethan Brooks was playing CDM almost in the first half. Then he played 10 in the second half. There was a difference. There was a thing that was there. That's what I mean. And that's what Cape Town City showed, right? So I'm not saying throw 9 players into attack and then hope something happens and maybe you'll catch that 6-0. I'm going, if 11 teams, 12 teams, 13 teams have come with your plan and have lost, I've got data that says, oh, the few teams that have actually played positive might have gotten a result, have done better than the guys who've been sitting back. We've got losses on losses. There's a reason why Sundowns was 11-0 and is also unbeaten still. That's what I mean. Agent, what's stopping our teams from playing like this every week? What's stopping our team from being highly tactical? You know, you hear the coaches come out after matches versus Sundowns and they go, hey, they break down. Parker, when Parker finishes playing Pirates, Sundowns, he breaks down the game. Why don't they break down the game when it's Richards Bay?
But before I go to that, okay, so I think what me and you agree on, maybe we are seeing it in different ways, is Sundowns is not, and it will never happen, at least in my lifetime, that Sundowns will have 100% of the ball. Not even 90, you know. You're gonna have the ball at some point in time. What do you do when you have the ball?
What's your plan?
It's all fine and good to defend, but what are you defending for? Are you trying to get the ball from Sundowns, or are you just trying to keep the ball from getting behind the net? And I think you should be defending to get the ball from Sundowns. And if you get the ball from Sundowns, what do you do next?
Yeah.
That's what you should also be training at your training. That when you get the ball, 1-2, we press AB, or we go to Omasheko because it's gonna overlap, or 1-2, you go to Kotie because Kotie is slow. You should have different kinds of scenarios and drills as such when you have the ball. But to your question, I think it's PR, man. It's PR. They're advertising themselves, they're selling themselves, I wanted to give a bad example, but it's a family show. But I think it's the cameras are there, the spotlight is there, so show people whoever's listening and is interested in the coach that, you know what, I know my stuff, because most of the times I listen to interviews after the game and they're very dull, very, 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 very dull, And it's like thoughts on the game went well, what do you call it? A thing of game of two halves. We had the ball, they had the ball. We didn't tell us our chances. We go to the drawing board. It's like a speech from the manual that they use, that all of them use. So I think it's just more of advertisement than anything else. So yeah.
Okay. I think that's why, because the question more comes from now we see what you guys can do. You get what I mean? Like we see that, okay, not that I can go pound for pound with the midfielder Sundowns, let's say, right? But then you're like, if he can go pound for pound with Sundowns, surely that means there's enough quality there to go pound for pound with any of the bottom 5 teams, let's say, for example. But
yeah, it's not just coaches who are selling themselves, it's even players, you know. We are seeing, I'm showing myself the quality that hey, sometimes Mashiko has nothing, I can do better than Mashiko, come for me, you know. or Chiefs come and do this, you know. You know, and it's live, eh? I'm sure you guys live what I can do, you know. So I think this way a good coach comes in and says, and I think it goes back to what Sundowns does, that Urulani, look at all his interviews, he's always breaking down the opposition, big, small, or whatever, you know. And when the mentality is from the top, he says we treat every game the same. Yes, some games are bigger than others, but you know, we treat all the teams with respect. I'm gonna do proper work. You know, if it takes us 2 days to prepare for a team, even if it's Cape Town Spurs, I'm gonna take 2 days to prepare for a team, and I'm gonna give you the same energy. It trickles down to players, you know. But if it's say Cape Town City versus, you know, Golden Arrows, and the cameras are not going to be there and stuff like that. If coach doesn't do the same drills that, you know what, for tweet, like you said, you was preparing for Sundowns, you know, if you don't put in the same energy and effort into preparations, even the players adopt that, you know, so it trickles down. So I think it's also a man management issue, you know, and I think that's what Kevin Hans does so well. I think I would be interested in seeing Kevin's Hans record against the so-called big three. I don't think he beats them that often, but he's always in and around there because he has mastered the ability to beat teams lesser than him and around his level. You know, that's what makes him a good coach, you know. So I think there's also a coaching thing.
Guys, please tap the screen, man. Tap on screen. Let's get as many likes as we can. Samelo, why am I team man? I have Huga Mabadala and Sundowns, but then Magmele Badale versus the other teams. Abeko.
Akuna plan. Go plan i-Sundowns net. And then I plan i-Sundowns engathini. Nayi i-Pirates, for instance. I-Sundowns got 3. Was it 3-1? Go
Yeah, last
MTNA.
year.
The next game asekho nalo okay midfield lapha ibambe i-Sundowns ngathini ngentamo Ndlondlo kasekho umayela kasekho aba like sort of ngithe mina uJose ubamba i-Pirates ubamba i-Pirates ngaphumeleli because i-team ingawina uyayishintsha ingawina uyayishintsha uyayishintsha ukuphi lo ugcina uphelele khona nayi question futhi ekugcina ule pass ngiyavuma une-flop angathi yani but una 10 goals umahobo unangaki ma-goals unangaki kusukela uyadlala nguye startako every game ustart umahopa ule pasa una 10 goals wayengakaza start after whatever problem labi khona wayengasa start
Mara manifika kwi-Sundowns niyadlala ngifuna ukungena lapho ukuthi nawo ama-player ayabonakala ukuthi bakhona masidlala ne-Sundowns bakudlalwa nge-Sundowns but then other games abekho.
A problem kuyarelax i-team ekudlalwa nayo la South Africa Sundowns the rest kuyarelax khishwa noma ungafaka i-last 42 akunankinga i-team ekudlalwa nayo i-Sundowns and the moment mina loko ngila kugcina khona kuthiwani i-Sundowns i-top team vele i-top team but-ke ngeke akhone lama-team lalesa than i-Pirates or i-Chiefs or i-SuperSport or i-Stellenbosch or whatever team lengaphasi kwe-Pirates or Sundowns kuphakama ngidlula thina kumele kuphakame thina ma-Grootman mara sikhona ukuphakama asiphakami asina ngakubalela mina i-top 5 ye-PSL akukho i-team line-starting 11 except for i-Sundowns ayikho
Starting 15, starting 18, starting 22 ungayistretcha nokuyistretcha
akude kude ngeke ngivisa buhlungu lento leyo man. Like ukuthi okay Chiefs now Ngcobo ushaya the greatest pass of his life the next game usebhenchini. Now Memela ushaya 6 assists ngesizini the next year uMazulu. It's sort of like kumele iSundowns ihlale iphambili ngathi kudesigniwe. Not ukuthi iSundowns khona kuronle kwendawo.
Yeah.
Ayithenge abadlali iSundowns ibadlalise ayithole ama strikers ayende whatever it has to do. But awancede amateam wethu man. And there's something different. I want something different. Like let's say in backline you don't mess with it.
Yeah.
Unai backline Chiefs next. Unai backline Go Perez next. Do SUPERSPORT unai backline maybe. Cape Town City nayo ngomkhizi. Nguphi le right khona kahle kahle ngaphandle kweSundowns. Nguphi.
Okay.
Look right corner SUNDOWNS.
No, that's
now kuna kusave team. Ambo favor SUNDOWNS mara nakhona so winile vele.
Ketile Mansabelo, I think for Ketile, ukona uchitha manje.
Nkwatile.
Bekumnandi nwina manje asawidi, that's why. Think for Tolani.
Thank you, Bawam. Thank you.
Tolani, these teams, man, you know, I think I admire Rulani so much because even in this press conference, they asked him questions about the result, and he was like, nobody owns the result. The result is anybody's. So I have to work as hard for every single team in order to try figure out what to do. I can't take any games for granted. It feels as though in the PSL, a lot of the coaches and players take these teams for granted, these games for granted, because Cape Town City will have an amazing game where Coach Abu Tinkler will break down everything today. Tomorrow, it might be a completely different Cape Town City that we see for the next 4 games. Why do these teams slip, man?
Yeah, sure. See. Hey, maybe December wakawatile mapapa but I think maybe babe ne therapy show ya bufethi askisa baby man.
Eh mara.
Askisa utham. Hey, fethu ukhathazekile usabe lapha. Yeah, two igame yethu wena uthi yeah fethu you hit the ban on the north, sure. So mina ngokwami fethu I also think ukuthi they taking SUNDOWNS serious because and they put more efforts when they play against SUNDOWNS because they know how SUNDOWNS plays. Everybody knows how SUNDOWNS play. I feel like when it comes to Amanyama team, like they don't do research as they do when they're going to face SUNDOWNS. They don't. So I think a technical team, the coaches and players, they don't put more efforts when they play against a Manyama team, because first if they do their research, bebezo was like a challenge with SUNDOWNS in terms of points and stuff. So if mangasebenze kahle nje bese research because I feel like they don't do a proper job, proper assessment when it comes to Amanyama games. Because if I could ask maybe a 15-year-old, how does SUNDOWNS play? They know first. Yeah, because they're winning and it's all over immediately. Yeah, so where else? Nobody knows Richards play. So by that you have to do your research or even download my previous interview Rulani, because Rulani will tell them his previous opponents were playing like that. Yabo, so Umlungisi has made it easy for them, yabo. Serious, Uti.
Hey,
Because
Mara.
if you listen to Urulani after the game, he will tell you what happened to the game, like detail by detail, face, minute from minute. So yeah, I think the easy way for them is to like stick to a press conference, Urulani.
Okay. Kumo, you know, your coach said at the beginning of this season, he said that he sat Koklorkopka preseason and he watched every single game that Sundowns played multiple times last season. For that they played last season, he watched them multiple times. It seems like he really does put in work when he goes to play any team. Why is it that it only seems that these teams put in work when it's Sundowns? You know, some of them are even bad teams, but they'll be defending like you've never seen them defend before. And you ask the question that, if you guys are capable of doing these things versus Sundowns, why aren't you doing them day in, day out? What is the issue here?
Get the same reason when Chiefs Eja Amazulu they want to play Real Madrid. So small teams, when they play against big teams, they want to put their best foot forwards. I mean, like, they aren't competing for CAF, they aren't competing for AFL, they aren't competing for PSL, they aren't competing for Netbank, Kali, what. So their biggest flags or prize is to get a point against Sundowns. You can't blame them. It's always the case. So yeah, so Cape Town City feels they've won the FIFA Club World Cup. Yeah, so kudos to them. That's how it is. And happy, besides that, trying to win, when you can play against Sundowns, I got rumors are Sundowns buys players that gave them trouble in the field of play. So these guys were auditioning for Sundowns, and unfortunately, I didn't get more to Cape Town City. So I got still more. So it was all in vain.
Barakuba. Okay, but it's fine. I'll take it. Just to close off, look, from my end, guys, I'm gonna stress this point one more time. We see stars when they go and play Sundowns. We see stars. We see star coaches. We see star tactics. We see all this stuff. Please, can you do it on the other days? Because, as Kuma said, you guys claim an award when you beat the Sundowns. I'm sure Cape Town City was very happy to draw with the Sundowns. But the bigger picture is that you can do a lot more with your club. If this Notata can play in this midfield and do well like this, there's no reason why Cape Town City shouldn't be tearing up the CAF Confed, shouldn't be tearing up the Champions League, shouldn't be playing like at these levels more. You can even tell the players were tired. Why? Because they're not used to doing this. So if a team that has 15 days off where they don't play, where you only see them once every week and a half, can't consistently bring themselves up to this level. No, guys. We have to look at our teams and say, guys, and they can't hide. You know, they hide behind this thing of saying quality. Then they come out and they give performances like what Cape Town City gave to his Sundowns. And you're like, Gase, it seems that you guys have something then. Plan better, do better. Pella, even with the games, imagine, guys, how about we've got about the STV now? I can watch 5 games at Richards Bay if you want to. Easily accessible, I guess, for them. Partners is DSTV. I'm sure the teams can access those things and archives very easily. So if you're not doing the work, then who must be doing the work, guys? Guys. Anyway, on to the next topic, the last final one. We're going to speak about KAIZER Chiefs here. They beat Richards Bay 1-0. Turned out to be the game that cost Ukaitano Tembo his job. So let's hear from the coaches. We'll start with Coach Kaitano, who got fired on Christmas Day firing, but it's fine. Let's hear what he had to say.
Give us your summary version of what happened in 90 minutes plus the 5 minutes added.
Yeah, thank you very much. I thought we had a very good start in terms of our shape, in possession and out of possession. We didn't give them much space and time, to play, especially in the pockets where they usually try and get, play in those pockets. So we closed our space very well, and we had a lot of moments as well, going forward, especially on transition. We just lacked, decision making, as well as the killer instinct. Because I think before, Chiefs scored, we had 2 good chances, 2 good opportunities. But I thought in second half, when we made also the changes that we made, we came back, even much, stronger. We were more threatening going forward, and we were a bit more solid as well, defensively. And I think there is one thing that we did very well is to stop their transitions from, the medium block, because they are very dangerous when you give them, that space, especially with speed, from Modi, as well as Saile. So we defended very well in that regard. But our main concern was the opportunities that we created and couldn't, take them. And I think Chiefs, had one chance and they scored, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was, a good take from Norway as well. But, I think, I can't fault the boys. I thought, they came here, they worked very hard, they played well. It was just unfortunate that, we lost the game.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that was Kaitano Tembo. Let me come in and bring in Kevin Johnson. Then we can get into it for time's sake.
Too many errors for me in certain moments in the game where I thought we could have held the ball better. We could have gone further up the pitch with a lot more finesse, like we trained. But we tend to put ourselves under a lot of pressure. The first half, I think, we did a little bit in the first 20 minutes. There was a lot of energy in the team. We had maybe 1 or 2, I think, clear chances where we should have scored. And then some of the plays in the first half as well, the decision making to shoot or to pass in between, and then we lose the ball. And of course, we know we're playing against a counter-attack team, and then they come at you. But in the second half, it was a lot more difficult because I think they missed 1 or 2. But be as it may be, we win the game, and we carry on. We try and fix up what happened, and hopefully able to get it right.
Okay. Okay, those are some words there from Coach Kevin Johnson. I don't know how we play. I'm going to start there. I don't know what the goal of what Chiefs is meant to be is. I don't know what the moves are. I don't know what the pattern is meant to be. I don't see it working. But we got 3 games, 3 points for 3 games in a row. So I am happy to get those points. And maybe it's needed for us to get that confidence boost in order to then go on and now fix the problems that we see. I wanna zone in on Richards Bay, because Richards Bay has the particular problem that I'm speaking about in the PSL. Kaitano Tembo doesn't seem like he cared much that they're second last. Doesn't seem like he cared much that they're probably heading off to a playoff spot. If not for Cape Town Spurs being so bad, maybe he feels a bit comfortable. But that feels like it's the league. They're playing versus the KAIZER Chiefs. KAIZER Chiefs has been wishy-washy for a very long time. You see the starting lineup. You know that there's some weaknesses there. None of them were taken. And he keeps saying they played well and they did those things. I didn't see that coming from Richards Bay. On Chiefs' side, again, I like the fact that later on in this press conference, you can watch it all on Diski fans. I love the fact that he came out and he said, I want better. And he also alluded to the fact, actually he said it out loud, that his team does one thing in training. He's like, go training, they look very, very good. But then when they get to the pitch, they do opposite of whatever he was installing there at that time, right? So it becomes one of those issues where you sit back and you're like, okay, I'm hearing coach is not getting a foothold, but then, yeah, fine, the same players are playing every day. And we see the same things. I can tell you about a Chiefs team. I can tell you that Dove is going to have lapses in centre back where he'll drift off to the left a bit more than he should because Kanti's also gone. I can tell you that previous Chiefs, that midfield is not meant to be a playing midfield. That midfield is a midfield for work. So they're never in positions where you can play the ball up through the middle because the whole time under the past few coaches we've had, they've been playing wing support, left and right back support. They've been playing those positions. I can tell you that Modi is not an out-and-out winger, or at least that's what he's shown at KAIZER Chiefs. And he's been very good cutting inside and shooting. But when he cuts inside and shoots, I can tell you that Saile is the last 15 minutes player. He doesn't start well. So when he plays those games, you don't see him. He disappears because he has too much time to think. Too much time to think. He is good. Last 15 minutes, the game is broken down. One team is chasing, one team is defending. And then that's where he's the best at because he doesn't need to think. Paula inside the box, he finishes it off. Right? So that's who Saile is. Now Gonzalez, from day one, we have not seen. I've seen Gonzalez play right back at some point when we were playing versus Sundowns. I've seen him run around on the pitch. I still don't know what he does well. I suspect that it's very good aerially because he's a big physical player. And the one good chance I've seen him have was when he headed the ball onto a crossbar. So you can see these things, but we don't play towards the strengths or the weaknesses of these players. We have to hope and wait and hope that Nkosing Pile will win the ball back on near the halfway line and make a run and take a shot like he's never done before. We hope that that's how he's going to win us the game. We're going to hope that Modi's going to trap the ball and play 1-2 and put it into the corner. Something he's never done before, but then we're going to hope for it because that's what we're living on luck. So I think I don't want to be too hard on Kevin Johnson. And I want to say to him that, no, it's fine. Steady the ship. This is what we needed. Some wins in a row so that we can build back the confidence. Then you can go fix. They asked him about even transfers. And he was like, guys, I've only been here 2 months properly as head coach. So we're still getting to grips with this team, right? But we still make the same mistakes that we were making a while ago. I guess I'm just glad that the 3 points are clocking. Agent, Chiefs, 1-0 win again, 3 points, 3 games in a row. We can be happy. We were happy, but when you drill into the game, man, what do you think of this game we played versus Richards Bay?
3 points is not for everyone. I keep saying, and I said this for two week games in a row. Yeah, and you guys are not everyone. But I didn't want to. I want to watch the game. I just wanted to say that I think Chiefs fans just need to understand that Rome wasn't built in a day. And I think I watched one game where he was trying fancy stuff and it was like, try basics first. Don't try moving, inverting, midfielder, left back, what. No, man. Just start, don't do a Steve Compella where you're trying to implement style of play at all cost, at the cost of 3 points. So rather get the wins by hook or by crook, and then you can build it from there because I think Chiefs does have quality players. It's just a matter of can you get them through this rough phase and trim them mentally. I think when the confidence builds, he can be more explosive and he can try maybe go on a maybe 4-5 unbeaten streak, and I think that would help and he can implement his style of play. And I think from the Johnson that I know, he's a good player. I mean, he's a good coach who can implement a style of play, But I'm just there and I'm like, as a neutral, not a Sundowns fan, I'm thinking, okay, cool. You guys are winning. And it goes back to the conversation that me and you had on the last time, I think it was Friday. So if he wins consistently, do you guys give him the reins?
No, please, no.
But he's winning. But he would be winning, you know.
He can. I think he can do a great job where he was. Like the position he was in was perfect.
So, but I want some, because as a neutral, to be honest, I think he should just win and losing don't go for the full job. But otherwise, let's hope that you guys win and he can implement a style of play, and we'll see. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Have a good night, and I just want to say that I love your patience. One of the reasons why I'm not a content creator, nor a lawyer or anything, I don't have patience. I love your patience. That's all I'm gonna say. Good night, man.
Let me go to Sabelo. Sabelo. Nagu Chiefs Sweeney fine. We've got 9 points in the last 3 games. Mara equivalent to Sidalayo, and I don't think it's sustainable. What did you see from a game, Chiefs versus Richards Bay?
Kodwa ngokutshela ngosini ngitsinga just 3 players lakhona lekumele nakhe around one. That's no. That's no. One of them. And then Modi. And then I don't know what's in Banu, but those 2 players build the team around ball. For a team to succeed, they need someone to build around. Build around these 2 boys. Because ngiyakhumbula lo mfana wase-Brazil na.
Mobi.
Lo bekora kakhulu ngenhloko.
Oh, Castillo.
Naye ngamfaka lapho, but angani uyodlala kuphi but but ke ngoba mina I believe kuye mina. He's got that special touch. That genius genius lafana. Bese kuyavela that now and again kuModi kuyavela now and again ukuthi if support enough, they'll bring something to the team. But people, like, I mean, what I'm fighting for was the Lama team have a starting team.
Okay.
Was the team yako inaba not because ababe comfortable, but because a team be successful.
Okay. Kumo, what did you make of this game that Chiefs played in Richards Bay?
Oh, you call it a game? Okay, I was bored.
Okay, that's the official game.
Oh, okay, that thing we saw was boring, man. It was boring for a team like Chiefs to be playing like that against the Richards Bay. I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know what I saw. Kanti Lidove, Bagala position 1, same position, same spot, midfielding. Gonzalez, Mara Chiefs against the it had to take some creativity from a young boy to show all these old cows how it's done. I guess on the positives, you guys are grinding out wins, you're climbing up the table low and getting points. Mara, guys, can you really be happy at your performance, Mara? Can you really be happy as Chiefs? So I don't know, man.
We're not
like,
happy, Mara.
And the thing is, like, I was I wouldn't say a fan, yeah, Calvin Johnson, but I advocated for him. It made sense for on an interim basis to come and coach you guys, given the experience and the mentor and experience that he had from, especially Luke for one. Sharp and I give one direction. I give one just when I'm thinking, what this guy is gonna do something different, impressive, he goes the other way. Marshall is consistent. Maybe he's starting to get his groove, or maybe for now he's like, no, let me just get the 3 points.
Yeah.
Get like one next season. I'm gonna concede this season. Maybe I can start building my own team. Maybe I'm thinking, I'm hoping, I'm assuming we're Chalohan. But that game was a bomb and there was nothing to write home about. Though I know, like I know. I Kore got it all. And worst part, that day, there was, those festive tournaments, multiplication,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
people play. I should have went there. But because of the support of OT,
Hey, Marakuba, but let me say, Kileboga support, Kileboga support. Let me read some of these comments here. Sana's only team that doesn't hold back, they invite you to come play. Which Wi-Fi do you use? Very stable. I'm not going to say the brand. But it is fiber. So if you just message me on the site, because they don't sponsor me, so I'm not going to give them free Wi-Fi. Just send me a DM and I'll let you know. How are you doing, Therese? How are you doing? Zansoka says unsustainable. Kahiso says trust the process. Glory days will come. And then how many years it took to build Rome? Well, this is from the comment made by your agent. I actually did a young calculation. 8 years this bomb at 2,920 days. Nyanda. So I think we've been waiting for Rome to be built for a very long time. And the issue is that there's no plan to build Rome. There's no plan. The plans keep changing. Every year, Rome looks different. When are we going to start building this Rome that everybody's talking about? Kat says Modi is the best. Somebody says build around the win. Mansoka says, and Johnson says we don't have to sign any player in Jan. I get it from his point of view that I haven't been able to assess anyone here. I haven't been able to really do deep down things to, I think he's only done analysis. I don't think he's done a deep dive into each of the players himself coaching, right? So I think that change of role messed him up a little bit. And honestly, guys, 100% honest, let's stop making it a player problem. Every year we bring in new players. This year we signed 7, 8 players to come into this team. The previous year every year we've been signing, right? And for some reason, these players are really good where they come from. But when they land at KAIZER Chiefs, something fundamentally happens. So maybe, man, we must focus on each Chiefs and say, before we bring in more souls. I heard it so, and a couple of people here speaking about bringing in Ushandre, the kid from SUPERSPORT. I don't want him to come to KAIZER Chiefs because he's just gonna sit on the bench or be misused. Right? We already had Abozwane, have been at Chiefs for 4 or 5 years and it hasn't worked out. So for me, they need to fix whatever's happening there in Achorena before you bring in even more players on top of these ones. And then you'll have a thing. Think about it, guys. Think about all of the lists. Simango was captain of CS Galaxy. Mtetwa was one of the lead midfielders for Stellenbosch. We have Umodi was a star player at Arrows. Abo Potsane were star players. They really Chivavairo scored 17 goals last season. In Africa even, he was wanted by a lot of people. Then you can go down the list, Tubo Castro, Tubo Pilia, Tubo Toli, Tubo Manyama. You can go down a list of these players. I personally am stopping this thing of saying we must bring in new people, bring in this one, bring in that one, bring in that one. Fix what you have. I don't think there's a quality problem at KAIZER Chiefs per se for me. I just think that we don't have our house in order at Naturen and is messing with the players. Richards Bay. Richards Bay just fired their coach now. Christmas Day, but Merry Christmas, you're fired. Coach Bilagal, the Coach Kanu, friend of the show, is taking over there, Richards Bay. Richards Bay, man. What's going on there? Maui Pegile from outside.
Hey. Ufana ba rich baphethwe yini man kwase ukocha kana ndaba neteam like uvile ilo bathi after game ukuthi ukhuluma bathi It's not like concern ukuthi badlale njani.
Yeah.
Overall, like he was there just for show. But again, I don't know ukuthi kwenakalani Richards Bay, but again, elangayisho ngithi ukuthi akube ne-starting 11 man. Say la salabantu abadlalako. Players who want to perform for Chiefs, players who want to perform for the page. Not players who just are there because of the money, because of the fame. I understand what's happening, but as far as me, if only coach akhuluma so njenga Kaitano Tembo, why was he even there? What was he doing there? Because I'm rating a PSL, man. Normally this time around, you'll never beat Richards Bay. But he seems not to care. Like
is maybe some of the problems ukuthi uyazi naye ukuthi bazongifire la ngizovuka maybe esikhukhune in a month's time bazongilanda futhi.
Abakufayari ngoba umnyama kuphela, bakufayara ngoba ungakenzanga umsebenzi wakho.
Mara ngithi uyazi ukuthi next month kuzofire omunye bambize futhi, even though they watched him go second last bazomlanda futhi. He doesn't have to do much to get a job.
This begs the question ukuthi sorry kufa kaloku ne, but this begs the question ukuthi ubo Eaglesin, why is Malesela aku NFT Lezans? Why are the best coaches in South Africa Mashaba nowhere to be seen? Why is it? We need these coaches to regain our strength. Bila EPSL yaba mnandi man. Ngiyakhumbula i-Pirates beyidlala ngabo excellent walays abo tukutuku makanya bo, but i-competition around that time you can never go to Platinum Stars and expect a win. But manje we go with Pirates lesathi ukuthi kumele iyowina eKZN if you draw or lose. Sathi ukuthi iye-Cape Town kumele win if you draw or lose. Siyathi kuseLimpopo kumele win if you draw or lose. What happened to this soccer kahle kahle? What silahleke kuphi? Why kungabuyi bo Kevin Hunt? Why kungabuyi bo Dentes Malasela? Kungabuyi bo Sheikh Mashaba?
Abo Koren Igasinti.
Hey, the best coaches in the PSL. They wana makhuluma bathi Malasela lo thathe i-cup game. Sorry. Mara Leopold, now you enjoy. Yabona ngile team la. No matter how good I am, ngile team. How many teams can play soccer, pure soccer in the PSL manje? Mangaki ama team.
Angifuni ukubala cause ngizokhala.
Ayizor bro, ngiyabonga ukungifaka ne.
Hayi no stress braka mara hayi no sizathini hey.
Ngikuthe basho njalo ne.
No, thank you, Samza. Tell me about this Richards Bay, man. Richie, look at Kaitano plays a specific way, but he keeps getting jobs. What's happening, man, there at the bottom, man? Aye.
But Tavarapela. So let me go easy. Now that he's fired, I get PSL, if it has this new implementation of laws or foreigners need to have this CAFE license. Will that also apply to Kaitam?
Yeah, I think he's going to have a job next week. He's going to have a job next week.
But where and why? Like, what has he achieved? Eh? What has he achieved? Yeah, I was gonna mention, but then see there's so many phenomenal coaches out there. But why yeah, whoever say I don't know, ba khopele bo Jomo Sone le na tlole monopoly wa Jomo. What and try and see what he can do. I don't know.
Tlogela Jomo, man, but
No, mara Joma koro obolaile koro wa rekise na ke motho ke wa shebisa fela mara he's a good coach if you are being honest.
bulele ka bane o driver bus ke chairman ke kit manager ke
Physical trainer. We are everything. Ke la pela le alana chairman, alena director of football. I should file. Maybe the secret to learn winning all this for another in a good coach. Ke Jomo. You don't know. Like that's also I want.
Yeah,
But
maybe
yeah,
think
man,
look,
honestly.
okay.
And a half. Her level la record there Kaitamatemo. He's lost 6 matches out of 10. He's won 2 and drew 2. Nah? So that's like give a percentage at 20%. So it was bound to happen. It was bound to happen or but the question now remains or Emma, coach your person get the same guy or salata more on our show.
Ke coach kan.
The-
Coach Villagaz.
Not like was here on the spot.
Yeah.
Get the same guy.
Yeah.
You are the guy, man, when he spoke with so much sense, eh? Like I was inspired and I couldn't ask him questions. If I get the same guy, like I'm happy for him, congrats to him, and I can't wait to see what way around because the way he spoke, then now inspiring I hope I'm for support, and hopefully he's not just gonna be a figurehead. That's my wish for him, my one. But for now, I think what Richards Bay still has a chance, although Lona NFD and stuff, he still have a chance as long bona they can still get more points than Cape Town's.
What a million dope.
Basha. And even if by a good I think they're still gonna win it, but
I get a network, get a marakere, what a million dope.
Network. Maybe I should also get trained your agent.
No, Kuba Sharp, I see that the network is a bit of a problem.
No more. I give to my brother.
It's fine. Get like Kuala. Look, guys. Look. This thing of our teams signing the same people over and over again. You know, I saw an article today where I guess one of the South African guys was asking for Shaw's Romain Foltz. They were asking him, hey, would you ever come back to South Africa? Hey, what are you thinking? And he said that, oh no, I got offers. I got offers from a bunch of teams in SA. But I've been turning them down because I could say he's doing some FIFA thing. And if he is to be believed, this is the issue. The issue is that Abu Kaitana Tembo, not to be disrespectful to him as a coach, but he hasn't achieved much. But he'll always be in a job somewhere. And our teams will not even look to the future, will not even look to the better ones from the past. They will carry on picking these guys. What was Kaitana Tembo's signature play at SuperSport? Remember he was at SuperSport. What was his play? What was his style? What did they do? What was his game? We don't know it. So what were we expecting at Richards Bay? No, he Cape Town Spurs. Cape Town Spurs has just signed Middendorp. Like it or not, Middendorp might do a job. They made their first signing now. He might do a job. Who knows? But this is a story of our PSL. And the one thing I'm glad about is that guys like Abu Coach Kanu are getting their chance. He's going to be the head coach again. Now, they did an incredible job when he was at Golden Arrows with Mabuti Kanyeza. That has since fell off a little bit, right? But he's now going to get his chance to imprint on that team. So by hook or by crook, at least this time, we got one of the newer coaches to take over a team, to take these teams forward. So hopefully Coach Kanu does something there. Coach Busmuzi Vilakazi does something there as he's taken over this team. Because I think, yeah, they went through a little bit of a drop there for a while. Let's see where Kaitano Temo gets a job. Maybe you'll see him take over at Polokwane City all of a sudden, and you'll be wondering why, how, when, or what. Meanwhile, there's coaches like about 10-10s. Everybody mentions about 10-10s who've done well relatively. There's coaches like Abo Dylan Kerr. I know Dylan Kerr is that side coaching development, but he is looking for a head coaching job. You could call those guys who've done stints and done relatively okay in these situations, right? But obviously, Coach Kanu is going to get his chance, and I hope he does well. But yeah, I just wish we could raise the level, man. I think what I'm missing from the PSL is it's a feeling, it's an anger. God, I need to do something. I need to do something to come back. I need to do something. I need to show some emotion, show some anger, show some fight. Kaitano Tembo in that press conference didn't seem like someone who's second last. He didn't seem like somebody who was coaching for his job. He didn't seem like he was under pressure. Chigi got fired. We had this conversation about Steve Kompela and the other coaches in the league, where it feels like none of them are coaching for their jobs. Then when they get fired, it's Chigi, they're surprised. But we're missing that, man. We're missing the fight. You go 1-0 down versus KAIZER Chiefs, a struggling KAIZER Chiefs that coach himself, who Kevin Johnson, has said we got bullied at some point. We got bullied in the league. So you sit down and you go, come on, man. Fight back. Do something. Show that you are hungry. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. We covered the 3 matches. I've hit 2 hours. I'll see you guys then tomorrow. I believe Sundowns is playing at 7:30. So we're going to do a watch along of that. Please support the content. Please follow if you have not followed. And yeah, just check out the content that's on TikTok. I've released a couple of videos as well today, short form videos today, and some other long form stuff as well this afternoon. They are available on YouTube. So go on over to YouTube, guys. Support us content creators. And let's make the new year something big. Thank you so much for the 34,900 followers. It's incredible. We wanted 50. Let's build. Yeah, so guys, thank you to those who joined me, the panel, the commenters, all of you guys that are there. I'll see you guys then tomorrow at 7:30 for the match. Yeah, Sundowns. Bye, guys.